Everybody, this is the top-down analysis for the month of November. So this time I don't want to only focus here on the higher time frames, but I want to see how this actually triggers into the lower time frames. So let's have a quick look here at the euro dollar, because today the markets are moving quite a bit. And let's just start with that. Markets have started to move this morning. So as you know, Biden has won the elections, and today, like a couple of days after this news, we see quite a couple of news coming up, right? So here it actually says stocks are lifting off on vaccine news. We've got 2 vaccine news today. And I'm actually using here marketwatch.com to see just the latest news, and you see how they're coming in like at the minute, right? So there are 2 news on vaccines, and let's like good news, right? So let's see here. Dave and Buster, a source after COVID-19 vaccine trial announcement, and there's another I think a Pfizer news earlier today. So this has moved the markets, and we can actually see how that now impacts the charts, the currency, but as well as the futures charts. So let's have a look at the currencies. So here's the euro dollar, and we can see, well, it had already formed a consolidation here on the 15-minute chart, right? And here today, well, we can see that was around 9 a.m. This is the first news event. Now here we've got the second one. Well, this news, well, you might know from what I'm typically say is that news, like the patterns position themselves in the right direction more often than not. And this is an example of this, right? So the news goes in the direction of the pattern, which is a long pattern here. So I've added into my euro dollar a position. Here on the daily, now it's come to the higher time frames. Now on the daily, well, we've got an S1 pattern. It's not a typical one, right? So what we have here, well, we've got an S1 pattern with a double bottom. So it's standing on 2 feet, which is not bad. It's pretty good. I really like that. And with the second foot actually has touched the 21. So this is nice. That's a nice base for prices going higher. Just remember, this has just turned around, right, from a very long-term downtrend, the euro dollar, into a very early uptrend. My big picture outlook has changed with the break of this red line. So now I believe that the dollar is getting weaker and weaker over the next couple of years. So this is just another push, right? So we've made the first leg here. So this is another push that might ignite the second leg in this multi-up leg euro dollar uptrend, right? So I've added in here, I'm planning to add more positions. I'm planning to make this a very profitable big R multiple pyramid. So now on the daily, so this is the first, so currently we are having a stop run, right? So it's a pattern within so this is a pattern, 15-minute pattern within a daily pattern. As it is moving with strength through the first stop run level, this is the second one, this is the third one that clusters with a big number. So we could actually see today or within the next couple of days, we might get a big green bar that breaks this level and makes a stop run, right? We already see the US equity markets and other markets developing good momentum, and this triggers typically into Forex as well. Like on the 60-minute, we're in a beautiful uptrend. We're meeting some resistance from prior levels, but it looks like we're cutting through. So that looks pretty good. So now let's have a look at some other pairs that are interesting here. The euro odd. Well, the odd has been strong recently, right? Since the COVID crisis basically, and now it's stuck within this very tight price range, right? And I'm interested to see what happens actually. Well, we could see that this is just a pullback and it makes a bounce. I rather think that the Australian dollar is getting stronger, like over the longer run. So this might break lower. Well, if it breaks, this is massive price resistance, right? Some really nice stop run levels are aligned as well. So if this breaks lower, well, we might get a huge move, right? euro weakness and Australian dollar strength. So that's quite interesting because the euro is very strong against the dollar, right? So that tells us that the odd US should go up quite a bit, and this is what we see, right? This is the Corona spike, and since then, well, prices have gained basically 25% in value of Australian dollar against the US dollar. So it has hit here resistance, just a very shallow pullback, and it seems like price wants to break to new highs. So if this is the first leg, well, then we might actually see a second leg of similar extent. Very interesting chart to trade indeed, the odd US. Let's have a look at another one. So for example, the US CAD. US CAD as well looks very, very good, right? So we have here volatility, momentum coming in, so we can trade momentum plays, right? And this momentum goes in direction of the overall trend. So that's the ideally situation you have. You have momentum in the time frames you trade, and it goes in the overall trends, which tells you, well, that there are swing potential. But not only that, here on the weekly, well, we are about to break a very important level. This is a stop run level, and here as well, we might see this week to give us a very big red bar, right? So there's a lot of opportunity this week in the markets if this trend, this momentum trend continues, and I think it will. Let's have a look at another one here, CAD Swiss, for example. So the Swissy had been very strong. Well, there's some Swiss weakness coming into the market, right? Like on the weekly chart, well, we see that it's basically stuck in a range, right? And I'm not concerned that this is a trend change into an upwards trend, CAD Swiss, right? It's more like it's another test of the 21. The 21 has been tested several times. A very super strong test here got rejected. Another test here, a smaller one, got rejected. So now we've got another test, right? It's even testing here against the 200 moving average, and I'm expecting this to be rejected. So I'm not very keen on trading this this pair long because well, there's not much room to go, right? Because it is already heavily testing the 21. So let's have a look at pound odds. So Australian dollar is strong, and we can see it as well. What's triggering? Well, it has been strong before, right? We had a couple of patterns here, and this is the pattern we talked about during the Forex live trading day, which was an online event with a couple of students. So this actually just continues. You see, the patterns are building, and the more patterns you get one after the other, the more pressure is built. Now let's have a look. How far could this go? Well, this is the momentum move, and this is a small consolidation. It's a 1 bar consolidation. So if you saw one, right, it's a green bar. So this one leg move, well, there could be a second leg, right? And this is what I'm looking for. Well, in order to do so, well, we need a spike of the 200. Well, it spiked before, right? So it wouldn't be something very astonishing. The second spike was even deeper. Well, now we might actually see that this spikes through, and not only spikes, well, that it starts to run to the bottom. So I'm seeing as well here Australian dollar strength against the pound. So this is the Euro New Zealand. So it's not only the Australian dollar that shows strength, but as well the Kiwi, the New Zealand dollar, right? So it has broken an important level here, key level on the daily chart, and it looks like, well, there's free fall territory. It looks like it wants to go lower, and I just see here, well, this is a big number. This is a typical magnet level where price is drawn towards. Well, not only the big number, well, there's a 200 moving average. And this actually might be, yeah, well, that's a huge rejection bar, right? That's Corona crisis, and this might actually be the event that has turned around this trend, and we might see these are stop run levels. We might actually see momentum coming in here, not only for the Australian dollar, but as well for the Kiwi. That looks very good. Now the last one is the US Sing. That looks super bearish, right? We see again here as well here. Well, the impact is to the bottom. So during our live trading day, we were actually, well, this was the election result, right? We had volatility, one up volatility, one down volatility, and this is the volatility range that we had spotted. During our day, the 4th of November, we were right here and we were saying, okay, whatever level is broken, well, this should actually trigger momentum. And this is what we nicely see here, right? Level is broken and momentum starts. But not only that, if we now put it into the higher perspective, well, we can see that the daily price has been at a very critical level. So that was the level just before 136. So we've actually been here above these stop run levels, and this move not only triggered this important volatility wick, but as well it has triggered two very important stop run levels, right? This is a consolidation in an overall downtrend, and every consolidation is a trend following formation. So this, I'm actually seeing that this is now starting a momentum move similar to this one, and this is going much lower. Well, interestingly here on the weekly, there's another important stop run level, and this might actually go, it's clustered with stop run levels, and this might actually go a long way lower, giving us Singapore strength, Singapore dollar strength against the US dollar. So interesting times. With higher time frames like this, whatever trade you take on a lower time frame, well, it has huge swing potential, right? And the game plan is to swing trade those patterns that develop and that you can trade. So this is it. Exciting times. Thank you.